What's up, YouTube? This is Big Bart. No need for no questionable calls or conspiracy theories or fixes tonight. Cleveland came out there and they did what the fuck they're supposed to do, what a team's supposed to do, what a championship level team is supposed to do, is go on the road and beat the fuck out of the fucking home team and silence the crowd and just fucking, I mean, everybody was wondering, let's be honest. Okay, there was a cloud over this game, the Draymond Green situation. Okay, that was a cloud over this game. Even I said it. LeBron James, fucking bitched and moaned and pleaded with the help of Fat Boy from ESPN, Brian Bratwurst. They whined and pleaded to the NBA, and they were successful in getting Draymond Green suspended for this game. Okay. Yeah, it's fucked up. Okay. But LeBron James and company still had to show up and win, and show up and play, and try to win, and they did that. And this was one of the epic teammate performances of all time. I remember doing a regular season game during 95-96 season. I remember my Bulls was playing the Pacers during the season, and I remember it was a game where Jordan had like 44 points, Pippen had 40, Robin had 23 rebounds, and it was an NBC game. I remember that. Trying to think of different tag team tandems. I know that Baylor and West had many 40-40 or 50-40 point games together. I think during the highest scoring game of all time in the 82, I think it was the 83-84 season, Kiki Vandeweghe and Alice English scored 50. I think it was 51 and 40. I'm a little rusty. I think Kiki had 51 or something like that, and Alice English had like 40, 45 or 46 points, something like that. But to do it in the postseason on a whole nother level, and this is the first time that two teammates have scored 40 points in the NBA Finals ever, and only the second time that two players had scored 40 points in the same game, although it was on opposing teams last time, back in 2001, Allen Iverson and Shaquille O'Neal, and I believe that was game one of that finals, where Iverson had 48 points and led his Sixers to an overtime victory. I think Shaq had 41 points. It was the only time that the Lakers lost during the entire postseason. They went 15-1 in that postseason. And I think during the regular season that year, it was 56-26. But anyway, going back to this game, Cleveland showed up, man. Really, two guys showed up. They had a little bit of help from Richard Jefferson. They had a little bit of help from Tristan Thompson on the boards. They tried to hack a Tristan in the third quarter, and it kind of went away from that because it was sort of mixed. He sort of made like maybe something like 4 out of 8 or 4 out of 7 free throws, and if you're still scoring a point or two, it's kind of counterproductive to keep doing that because you're getting further behind if you're not scoring when you got the ball. So they went away from that, but beginning of the game, man, it was scintillating, man. Golden State started off on fire, firing on all cylinders, especially Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, for a brief while, he was flirting with the all-time finals record for points and a half, 35 of Michael Jordan game, won the 1992 finals. Finished with 26 in the first half, was just hitting bombs from downtown. But Cleveland was hanging in there. They were just hanging in there. LeBron finally, his jumper finally showed up. I guess he got a FedEx from Miami, just in time for game 5 of the series. And Kyrie was just amazing, man, with some of the shots he was making tonight. I think Mark Jackson was the one that said he was a little bit reminiscent of Isaiah Thomas. There's some truth to that. I mean, he was just scintillating to watch. And at halftime, the game was tied at 61 all. But in the second half, really, Cleveland put the clamps on, man. They put the clamps on Golden State. And, they guarded the three-pointer very well. They did a tremendous job of guarding the three in the second half. That's the best I've seen Cleveland guard Golden State ever. Like in an extended sequence, they did a magnificent job. They held Klay Thompson in check. And, it seems as though there was more concern with Klay than Steph. Klay still finished with 37, but he was held in check. I think Curry had like 24 or 25 points, but it was like a meaningless, quiet, inefficient 25. I mean, most of those points he got were like when the game was kind of getting sort of out of reach. He missed a lot of open shots. Him and Harrison Barnes sucked tonight, especially Harrison Barnes. But I mean, look, I gotta say this, man. We tend to call out LeBron James when he doesn't step up in pivotal games, okay? The media kills him. We kill him here on YouTube, and rightfully so. But you gotta do the same for Stephen Curry. You can't be biased, man. You can't, sort of gloss over, oh, well, it doesn't matter what Stephen does. I mean, no, but it does matter, because if you want to say he's the MVP, should be up there with the Magics and the Michaels and the Larrys and the Wilts and the Bill Russells and the Oscars and all these guys, and the Kobe's and the Shaqs and Tim Duncans. If he's up there, he has to fucking perform in the highest stage, and he doesn't do that. I'm tired of seeing this guy. He scored 53 points against the Pelicans or 50 points against the fucking the underlings of the NBA. But when it comes to the top stage, he gets a pass for being mediocre. But they don't call him the great, because he was mediocre in the last finals. And he's kind of been mediocre, with the exception of the last game. He's been sort of mediocre. The best player playing in the finals right now is Kyrie Irving. His third consecutive 30-point game. I'm going to tell you something else, too. Remember I told you guys that one of the keys to beating Golden State is to make Stephen Curry work, make him work on offense? That's what's going on. You see what I'm saying? See, Michael Jordan and Bird and all these guys, especially Michael and some other select few, they guarded the best. Now, I'm not talking about late 90s Jordan, late 90s Jordan. No, he was no longer guarding the team's best player all the time. He wasn't. I give you that. But in his prime, Jordan was guarding the best guy out there on defense and showing up on offense. That's why I said separates these two. Notice how Curry was missing shots? Because he was tired. He was tired from getting his ass busted on the defensive end, and it was starting to affect his shot. Plus, I think Golden State was pressing a little bit because they were, I guess what you would say, choking. So yeah, Stephen Curry deserves a little criticism. But Cleveland just played magnificently, despite the ineptitude of Kevin Love, who, for the love of me, I don't understand, this motherfucker's robbing Cleveland $113 million, $21 million this year to do nothing. What he had, like 4 points, 3 rebounds, constantly losing the ball out of bounds, useless in the post, not even being able to make an open jumper. I mean, the guys fucking suck, man. Danny Ferry played better in stretches than this motherfucker, man. Get this dude the fuck out of here, man. It's a fucking bum. 99th all time. ESPN should be a fucking shame of themselves for even having that nigga smell. I'm gonna tell you how fucked up their list is, man. They got Kevin Love, if I remember correctly, they got Kevin Love at 99, right? They got him only 7 spots, I believe, lower than Nate Thurman. If you guys know anything about Nate the Great Thurman, Okay, this is a guy who Wilt Chamberlain said was probably the hardest guy he ever had like to play against. He had like this ridiculous arm wingspan, right? Tremendous defensive player. He's one of the guys I use in my arguments about Bill Russell being a little overrated, just a tad bit. Because I think if you put Nate Thurman on those Boston Celtics teams, they do almost as well. They do almost as well. Put Bill Russell on the Warriors and all those other teams. He's a great player who is in everybody's top 25 to 35. Maybe a little higher. Maybe 15 to 25 or something like that. But anyway, Nate the Great averaged 15 and 15 in his career. 15 points, 15 rebounds. But yeah, Cleveland did what they had to do, and it's now 3-2, and the scene shifts to Cleveland for Game 6. And Golden State could very well come into Cleveland and win. But I think the pressure is on Golden State because everyone had pretty much Cleveland out of it. No team has ever come up from a 3-1 deficit in the finals. They keep saying that shit. They kept saying it last round when Golden State went down to OKC 3-1 and said only 9 teams out of 232 contests have come back from a 3-1 deficit. And Golden State became the 10th team to do it. So the pressure to me is on Golden State. They don't want to be the first team to do that. They don't want to be the team to win 73 regular season games and fail to win a title. So yeah, the Draymond Green situation is out there. But he'll be back for Game 6, and we'll just have to see. Oh, before I forget this, Bogut. This is big. Bogut suffered what appeared to be. I looked at the replay. That looks like a serious knee injury. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but the way he yelled in pain, it doesn't look good. That didn't look good, and it didn't sound good. Hopefully, it's not a bad injury, because if it is a bad injury, and I don't know yet because I haven't really looked at ESPN or anything like that, if this is a serious injury, this could be potentially like a series shifting injury, because although Bogut isn't a great center, he's one of the better centers. He gives Golden State size. Size. He's a shot blocking presence. Without him, if they lose Bogut, then that opens up the lanes for the Kyrie Irvings and the LeBron James, and hell, even the J.R. Smiths. I don't know why the fuck the guy just settles for threes all the fucking time. And the Shumperts. That really changes Golden State's interior defense. So, I don't know about that one, man. Hopefully he's okay, or maybe it's not as serious as it looked, but that didn't look good with Bogut. Looked bad. Anything with your knee, ACL, I think MCL too. Anything with those types of injuries, hopefully it's not that. But anyway, wrap this thing up, man. Cleveland came into Golden State, won 112-97, put the clamps on them in the second half. Only 36 points, by Golden State in the second half. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section.